It's another attack, and soon too. Let's head to the safety of the temple to talk. So you want to know how to get to a never-ending battle going between two sides and having two teams where the AI don't have to be fully wiped out before their team respawns? To replenish the troops before they're all gone from the wave so they don't have to be brought down to the last AI versus, I don't know, 18 others? Well, I've got just the thing. Let's go test it out. Okay, to start this one off, we do have a little bit of map set up, and it's just the placement of your AIs and you know, their settings and stuff. So we're going to go down here to gameplay. We're going to grab the AI spawners as usual. We're going to set one up, and then we can kind of just duplicate them from here to set them up how we want. You don't have to really mess with the barrier or the boundary, and we can do that. So the settings you're going to want to change are, you want to kind of keep it, you can have all 8 if you want, but you kind of want to keep it a little lower so that way it doesn't hit the runtime limit for the AI before all your things spawn like you want. So my personal suggestion is, you know, keep maybe 12 AI spawned at one time on one team, so that way they can replenish their troops without having to, you know, hit the runtime budget and then kind of get unbalanced. So I'm going to go ahead and set these guys up. These are going to be the Marines. We're just going to have the Marines fight the Banished in town for just an infinite number of times. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up. For these, I'm going to have 4 Marines, just the different types. Okay, I've got my 4 Marines set up, and we're going to make sure they're on our team, because the Marines are just going to be on our team, because, you know, UNSC, you know, good stuff. Down here in spawn logic, we're going to go ahead and make sure they're triggered by script, and face forwards can be on, it doesn't matter. We're not going to mess with the squad labels this time, funnily enough. Squad behaviors, just go ahead and set magic sight so that way you can just see everything that's going on. And the move zone, that is important. We're going to go ahead and set that up now. The move zone is just the battleground is what I'm going to call it, but I'm going to name it town. Ooh, it spawned all the way back here for some reason. But anyway, we're going to move it over here into the center of the fountain. And I'm just going to expand it to the size of the main part of town right here. Yeah, right there is good. And we can raise it up a little bit, make it a little taller. There we go. Now and we're going to set that up so all the AI are coming to here. So even the enemy team will share this move zone. So I'm going to name this thing. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I already have one set there. But anyway, we're going to move that one out of the way just so we can start fresh. I'm going to name this one town. And there we go. And now we just set up the move zone for all of our AI right here to town. There we go. This one is ready, and we can go ahead. I'm going to duplicate this a couple of times. So that's 4, and we're going to do a spawner right here. And then we're going to do a spawner way over here behind these buildings. So that way, you know, none of them are really in the line of fire as hard. And they can, you know, just rush into the battlefield and whatever. This one I'm going to change the boundary on because I don't want them spawning inside these buildings that aren't done yet, because they'll just get stuck. There we go. So there's our Marines. Those are all Team 1, and they all have this move zone, and that's all we have to do with those. Now we're going to go ahead and duplicate this just because it has most of the settings we need, but we're going to change the troops to just different banished troops, and their team, we're going to change it to Team 2, right there. And the move zone is going to say the same. Yeah, you only need to change the team, and that's it. You can name them if you want, since we will be using these exact spawners in the node graph instead of just grabbing a general, like, get all AI spawners. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to remember which ones, because they're going to be on this side. I'm going to pull them in at separate times and set them up. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and set up 4 troops here for the banished, and we'll skip to when we're done there. Okay, so I have my second one set up, and he's got a just different number of troops, or different types of troops. That way you can kind of see it all happening differently. This one's got an Elite Ultra, a Brute Commando, stuff like that. This has a Grunt Ultra, an Elite Enforcer, different things. And then we're going to set up one more, and I'll skip to the end of that one. But I'm going to place this one over here in the unfinished part of town. Right here should be just fine. Alright, so I've got this one set up with a Skimmer Ultra and some other stuff, I guess. But it's 4 AI here, 4 AI here, and 4 AI here. And yeah, so we're good on these. And that's your map setup. You want to make sure, like I said, if you want to do it in this method to where you constantly get a refresh of troops while troops are fighting on the battlefield, you want to make sure that when you refresh that they don't hit over the limit. I mean, you can, I suppose, but it would just it wouldn't look right, and you're still going to get the same amount of troops if you hit the limit or not with hitting the maximum 32. So now that we got the map setup done, let's go ahead and place a new script brain and jump right into this. So to start, we're going to go ahead and bring our marine spawners into our graph first. Go ahead and grab all 3 of these and then hold Y. Bring up your node graph and pull them on in with Y. We're going to kind of rearrange these a little bit so that way they're not a mess, because we're going to have them about in this order. This order right here does not matter. You can just kind of have them however you want. And there we go. Now, we're going to go up here and start this off with events, just a basic event and on gameplay start, because you don't want them to be fighting as soon as the game loads, because you're going to be in your camera, or like the camera is going to be showing all your teammates while there's already fighting going on. If you want that kind of thing, you can go ahead and have on game start, but just for this, you want them to run with you, then you use on gameplay start. So next we're going to go down here to our variables basic and grab an object list. And you go ahead and plug in AI spawner 2, and AI spawner 1, just all these AI spawners to the same list right here. There we go. We're going to be using waves, so that's just basically what what's going on here. So we're going to cause a little bit of a delay, because that is something that makes or breaks this, is you need a delay. You may not need one at the beginning as much, which I'm going to go ahead and set this for 2 seconds anyway. But for the next set of nodes down here, you will need a delay or it will break. But anyway, to continue on, now we go up here to AI waves. And we just grab a wave. Place it right here. It's looking good. Go ahead and plug our object list into the AI spawner list. So these are our marines, and they will be the ones that keep replenishing. We're going to change our wave type to default because it's not an intermission, and our wave options we're going to change. Alright, now we go down here and we get wave options. I'm going to place it right here for just neatness sake. Go ahead and place wave options, or connect wave options to the wave options here, and there you go. Now we just change these. If you don't want the game to tell you reinforcements every time that they respawn, then you can leave this as false. But if you want it to say reinforcements every time you get more marines, you can set this to true, and the game will audibly say reinforcements, like in Firefight. But I'm going to set this to false just for now. We're going to leave the ongoing message. We're going to have that false. Delay until spawn budget. This is when you can kind of play around with. If you have it at false, then it's going to spawn them as soon as possible, whether there's budget for it or not. And if there's not a budget, it just won't spawn them until there is budget. And if it delays them until spawn, it will delay this entire wave until there's enough room for every AI in it. So I'm just going to go false for now. And percentage, this is important. We're changing this from our usual to 50%. What this does is it means that once half of those marines have died, the entire wave will respawn and run out there. So let's say you have 12, which we do. If 6 marines die, 12 more are going to spawn behind it and run out there. Then, if 6 marines die, it gets down to 6 marines again, it will spawn 12 more, and so on. That's how we're going to do this. That way you constantly have fighting going on, and no one's out there alone, and nobody's out there with just fighting an entire force with just one, AI left in their wave. Lastly, we need to go up here to grab or add wave manager, or add wave to wave manager. Whew. I'm awfully tired today. Just go ahead and plug wave in here and wave there. We're going to move these over right there. Our wave manager is important this time. We're going to go and change this to user 1. There you go. You can use default, which I guess I'll go ahead and use default because it doesn't matter as long as you have enough room to have a second one, and I guess we'll use that as user 1. But alright, now we set up our AI for the banished, and it's essentially repeating the process here. Go ahead and plug this in the same way we did before. All the settings are the same. The only difference is we're going to change our wave manager for this one over here to user 1 this time. There we go. And our AI spawner list will be different. So I'm going to move These will be fine where they're at. Now we go over here and we pick up our AI for our banished right here. There we go. And we just pull those into our node graph with Y. We do the same thing here. We rearrange them a little bit so that way they're not a mess. And once they're done, we can kind of move them. Oops, I completely butchered that. Anyway, now we're back. There we go. And we just connect them the exact same way we did the other one. Connect the object list up here to the AI spawner list of our second wave, which is, these will spawn at the exact same time. So you don't have to worry about, hey, this wave is going to spawn, and then after the Marines die, then the Banish will spawn. But that's not how that works because our wave managers are different. This will cause them to spawn at the exact same time and under two different wave managers. If this was set to default, then that's true. That's what would happen. But that's not how it works because we're using two different managers. Okay, so now they will spawn. All of our AI will spawn the way we want. But what happens when we get to 50% killed? We need something to happen. We need them to respawn. So that's where we get down here in events AI on wave end. And we're going to have to do this twice because we have to specify the wave, which doesn't let us use a universal one. So we're going to set this to default. Our wave manager is going to be default because it's going to check and see, did the wave that is assigned to default, did it end? Yes, then it's going to do something. And the wave technically ends when we kill 50% of the troops. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to duplicate this and just move it down here. It's very, very similar to my endless AI respawning tutorial. But this time you're doing it as two separate groups instead of all of them at once. So there we go. All this should be the same. And then we're going to repeat the process. Okay, don't forget to go ahead and hook up your spawners. That's important. There we go. So now these share it because these are the Marines. And this second group over here is the AI for the Banished, which is this group right here. So let's go ahead and duplicate this and change this to user 1. There we go. And then we just duplicate these the exact same way. There we go. And we go ahead and plug in our spawners here. There is one thing we're going to change because I didn't add it just now. And it's not going to lie to you. That's because I completely forgot. But it's like the most important step. We're going to need to plug in our delay because the delay is what makes and breaks this. Like I said earlier, if you don't have it, they will not respawn. They'll respawn one time and then that's it. They will not respawn again. And it's weird and I'm not sure why, but that's how it goes. So let's go back up here to logic or down here to logic instead. And at the very bottom, it's got to wait for n seconds. And we can just set this to a 1 second delay. That way we wouldn't even notice it. There we go. And we just duplicate that and move it over here. This is super important. It's unbelievably important. And I don't know why it breaks it the way it does if you don't have it. But that's how it is. But there you go. That's the script. And this will get your troops to constantly refresh after half of them are killed. And you will always have action on the battlefield no matter what. So let's give this thing a test and see what we've got going on. Alright, our Marines are in. And there they are over there. They're marching their way to the center of town and they're going to start fighting it out. Oh yeah, I'm getting out of the way. Trying to pay attention to how many Marines are left. That way we can watch it happen. Well, there's 6. Now more troops are arriving. This group's destroying these Marines. And of course it works for the AI, the Banished too. Let's go ahead and throw these out here. There they go. See, now they're responding because there was only 6 AI of the Banished left. And now they got their refreshed troops. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kill one of my Marines. Should do this, but hey. Okay. And once they reach 6 again, our troops are going to respawn. Yep, there they are. And this will constantly happen, and it will appear as if you have a constant supply of troops and a constant battle going on in the area that you choose in your map. So you'll never have a dull moment. But there you go. That's how you get 2 teams to have separately spawning troops that always replenish after a certain amount are killed. And without reaching the budget too, which is a great thing. Now you can have a constant supply of action on your battlefield. You can also assign other move zones to simulate a different type of battle, as well as tweak these different settings to make things more interesting. Speaking of constant action, this place is in trouble and I've got to get back out there. I'll see you again next time.